So I'm making a follow-up video to provide some more detail about this speaker installation on the access cab on my Tacoma. And you can watch my other videos to show why I got into this and some other information. But I had to take this door panel back off because there was some noise going on back here. It was making me crazy. So something was loose or something. I'm trying to track that down. But while I had it apart, I figured I would provide a little more detail about how this comes apart and where these wires are. And this will all make sense if you watch this in conjunction with my other videos. So first of all, this back panel has to be pulled off, and that just gets yanked out. And you can see there's these little plastic tabs all the way across there, and another row of them down here, and they just fit into these holes across the back of the cab frame. And so you just yank this thing off. Just grab a hold of it and pull it, and those tabs will pop loose. When this is out of the way and you peel your weather strip out of the way, that will allow you to pull the side panel off, which I have already off. There's my side panel. There's my side panel. And I was able to just pull that thing out of the way once the back panel was out of the way. In order to get that completely off, you've got to take your kick plate off here. So there's, your kick plate is there. So that's got to come off and be out of the way. Once you expose all of that, what you're going to see back here is this wiring harness. This yellow wiring connector goes, sorry about the shaky phone here, but I'm trying to hold the phone and do this at the same time. This yellow plug goes down the center, push on the tab and pull that out of the way. You're not going to do anything with that. It's this plug that you want. You see that it has 3 wires coming out of it. They're relatively small. Well, going into the bottom of it, which I have all taped up now because I've already wired it, going into the bottom of it are actually 5 wires, and 2 of the wires going into the bottom are bigger gauge wires than those 3. Those are the 2 wires that you want to tap into. And that's what I've done here with this white wire here. That's my added wire that I tapped into in order to run speaker wire. That's my speaker wire. So I clipped off those 2 larger gauge wires and soldered them onto these 2 white wires, and I fed those through that tube. Feed those through that tube on the outside of this yellow plug, and that tube, feed that through there. I think I used a coat hanger, and you can pull this out to make it easier for you. You're going to feed those wires through this wire loom and into the door, and then they're all part of this wiring harness. That's where those other 3 small wires are. It's part of this wiring harness. So I just taped mine in and put it inside that wire loom. And then you can just see here's my 2 white wires. And what you can't see up behind the door here is my 2 white wires have their own little wire loom that I added to go up to the speaker. And I just bought a couple of, I think these are Infinity speakers, I can't remember. A couple of Infinity speakers from Crutchfield, and that's how I added speakers to the back access doors where they were missing. And then this is the back of the panel. If you pull your door panel off, and to pull your door panel off, there's one little plug up here, plastic plug that has to come off, the bottom bolt for your seat belt. The little grab handle here has a Torx head screw in it. There's a Torx head screw that holds this trim panel where where this door handle is, and I think that's it. And then basically you have 10 of those red plastic plugs, and you just yank the door panel off. When you do this, I would recommend going to Toyota and buying yourself a half a dozen extra of those those red plugs, and maybe even some of the white plugs that are on the back of these panels, because they have a tendency to break. You can see here's one that got smashed and didn't go in correctly when I put it back together last time. So get yourself some extras, because they have a tendency to break, like this red one broke. Anyways, here's the back of the door panel, and you can see what Toyota did is, it's really a shame they did this. The speaker you know, mesh speaker hole is already there. It's part of the door panel. But when you don't have speakers in an access cab, they put that plastic plate, I've taken mine off, they put a plastic plate over here, and they've got 6 like plastic welded studs that go through your door panel and create these big ugly holes. And so what I did is I just found these generic automotive plastic plugs and shoved them through there, and you know, kind of glued them on the backside with some epoxy, so it just covers the holes. So that's it. So I just took this back apart to chase a noise, and so I figured while I had it apart, I'd give you guys a little more detail. Hopefully that helps.